Well, today I was going to try to replace the struts. I guess I'm still going to try, but it's a lot harder than I thought. The strut towers are underneath these plastic covers that are underneath the windshield wipers. So the windshield wipers have to come off, and also there's a motor that drives these window wipers. Motor that drives the window wipers. It has to be removed too. Then you can get to the tops of the strut crowns or castles, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, did not know I was going to have that problem. And well, I guess I can quit hee-hawing about it and get started. To remove these, you pop these caps off with a small flathead screwdriver, and there's going to be a nut under it. And then after that, if you're lucky, they just come off, but they probably my luck won't be that way, so I'll have to use a claw puller, which I probably don't have a small enough one to do. Well, let me see what I got. So these are just little rubber caps, and this small screwdriver, I just went under they came out real easy. They're rubber, so they're flexible. See that? These are 13-inch nuts. So next thing I'll do is loosen them and hope that the windshield wipers come off easy. Okay, so the first one didn't want to come off, and this one doesn't want to come off, but I'll show you what I did. I took the nut off and put it back on. Once I knew I couldn't get it off, I put it back on. And I took a hammer and I hammered it while I pulled up with my fingers from behind at the same time. And that's loosening it. So it may come off now, but maybe a few more wraps and I'll have it. But this one came off the same way. So I got it. It's loose. There we go. I said these were 13. These are actually 14 millimeters. I might have said 13 inch. These are 14 millimeters. And yeah, so I didn't have a claw tool that I could use. So my solution was put the nut on there loosely, tap it pretty hard, but be careful not to damage anything. I mean, I might have already broken and don't even know. I'll find out when I put it back together, huh? Anyway, but that worked for me. So this little rubber thing has to come off, and it's got little keepers on the bottom like that. And what I'm using to remove them is just a socket on a wrench, and it's a, let's see, what size does that say? It's a 1/4. So I'm using a 1/4 inch socket on the end of a socket wrench, and I'm filling underneath here for each of these little things like that, and I'm pushing it in so that it kind of pushes that stuff together and it lets it come out a little easier. Okay, so I've got the crowling off of it, and first of all, before you try to remove the crowling, make sure you remove the rubber piece and the front side, because it just hooks underneath for the rear of the crowling. So remove this first and then pull it out this way. Don't pull from back here, you'll break something. So just pull it straight out. Now I've got to remove this. This is the windshield wiper motor assembly. So there's going to be one connector here. You push the plug in and pull it off like that. And now it looks like there's 1 bolt, 2, 3 bolts, 4 bolts. 4 bolts. The bolts removed, and I disconnected the one connector, but I also disconnected this one here. I did that because this thing has to be removed from the housing. It's clipped in there. Otherwise this whole piece won't come out. So I got to reach in there somehow and remove that clip, or loosen the clip so this will pop out. I'm thinking flathead screwdriver or maybe another socket. Either way, you'll figure it out. That little plug was a pain in the ass. I cut myself doing it too. So once you get it loose, just move it out of the way. Don't try to remove the whole thing, because this thing is still connected to the windshield wiper stuff on both sides. So now that it's out of the way, we can reach the bolts or the nuts. So we're in good shape now. Okay, so I'm about to remove this knuckle from the strut here. You'll notice that I've removed the vertical link. In order to do that, I had to jack up underneath to relieve stress. Otherwise, it just wasn't going to happen. So I jacked this up to make this more level. It was way up like this to begin with. So once I got it good enough, then it would slip out, and just kind of move that out of the way. Also, don't forget to remove your brake hoses. There's 3 different bolts that have to be removed. Remove all 3. And then loosen these, and I'm about to use a hammer to hammer loose through. And I put the nuts back on reverse, in the reverse position, and then I can hammer and use that surface as a bigger surface to knock those out. I don't think you have to remove this. We'll find out. I believe there's going to be enough slack and stuff that the hoses won't get bound up. So I'm fixing to knock these out and drop this down. the knuckle, the whole knuckle is going to come down. Okay, there you have it. Knuckle's free. Now this strut can come out. Just remove the 3 bolts up here, 3 nuts I mean. Remove those 3 nuts and this will drop right down. Then I'll install the new, I'll have to transplant the spring. This spring here has to go on the new struts. So I'll remove it and transplant the spring, put it back in. So I've got my new front struts. I need to match it up. This is the driver's side. This one matches up with the driver's side. You look at this piece here. You look at these pieces, line them up, and then whichever side that's on, like this is the other side, it's pointing the other direction. Interesting, these are the same brand, but it's a different style. This one I had to twist and to release it, and this one has a thingy to hold, a wire to hold it down. I probably should have left it down. We'll find out if that was a mistake. This one came with a new nut for holding the top off. So I got to remove this and reuse it, and the spring. And the gator, I got to reuse the gator. I probably should have bought new of those. I didn't think about it. Let's see, this one's in good shape. It'll be fine. All right, let me get this going. I have to use what's called a McPherson compression tool, and I'll compress that spring so I can relieve the stress, and I can remove the cap. Okay, so here I have the McPherson tool on the spring, and I'm fixing to start compressing it. And it's just a matter of tightening these bolts down, and it will compress this, and the spring will follow. So just enough to get it to where I can get that cap off easy, where there's no pressure. Then I'll take the whole spring with the tools on it and just transplant it to the other thing, and then just loosen it in place after I've installed the cap, of course. So let me get started on that. Okay, before you install the new strut, it's a good idea to go ahead and clean all this garbage out. So if you got a vacuum, use it. If you got a brush, use it. Whatever, just get it out of there. Vacuum would be a better choice here, because then you can get inside that hole there. Anyway, just clean that up before you put the strut in. Back together. This side's done. The last thing I want to say about it is this nut here, this top nut that goes on the shock, you're going to have torquing that out of the car. So go ahead and mount it in the car. These 3 nuts that mount the strut to the crown here, those are 50 pounds. And this one is also 50 pounds. I believe that's 50 pounds. Let me think for a second. No, I think these were 40 actually. Let me look it up. So these are 40, but this one definitely is 50. And get this thing mounted down before you torque this. Otherwise you'll have a difficult time doing it. Confirmed. These are 40 foot-pounds. This one's 50 foot-pounds. And after you do it, there's a little rubber cap you got to put on. Keep the weather off of it. So there we go. Now I'm going to do the other side. And it's going to be pretty much the same thing. I will go ahead and install the windshield wiper motor first, though. I'll go ahead and do that and get that off my list. But that's it for this video. This side is just the same as the other. Thanks for watching. Okay, so here are the struts that I removed from the car yesterday. This one is pretty bad. It's pretty weak. It's pretty weak. It was still strutting to some extent, but yeah, this one was pretty tired. This one, though, is actually still working pretty good. It's difficult to push down, and when you pick it up, it doesn't come out. So this one is actually still pretty good. These had over 240,000 miles on them. And these are original Hyundai. You can see from the stickers. Well, maybe not that one because it's dirty. But this one. That's a Kia brand sticker on there. These are the original 240,000 miles. Hyundai put some good quality shit in their cars back then. Very impressed with these. The ones I installed will not get 240,000. I doubt it. Seriously, they probably just don't make them that good. So anyway, that's the end of this video. The fact that one of these was bad makes it all worth it in my mind. Thanks for watching.